But it's taken me a couple years to really be able to feel these things. I mean, seriously.
Well,
like now I can feel the tension in this shoulder. I can feel how I hold this shoulder up, where I never could feel that before.
But it's just like what I'm teaching here with the babies. These are conversations where you weren't meant to have, and people don't evaluate. How do I lay down on the table? Well, no, you're lying down. Most people would say.
No, it's a counterbalance thing. It's these two together or something.
Right. But same thing. I'm just coming underneath here. Coming underneath. Again, totally different if I came like this. Her body is just, I can do, she's non-existent. If I come underneath, feel the difference just from that hand over hand. Again, I know I have to do things like this, but I'm not just going. It's very, I wouldn't say threatening to the system, but the system really doesn't like it. Yeah, if I just came up to you and it went like this,
yeah, that's
you know what I mean? And I didn't make my presence known, especially where I'm going into a more intimate area, but there's no difference to the baby. That's a nonverbal communication. It's not like I get it if we're in Spain. I could be like this and talking to you, and there's no personal space thing.
Right.
But if you're not in Spain, Americans would be like, yo, you know, you're getting close here.
Your body, it helps you establish your
But for a baby, you saw that if you touched her a certain way, she startles immediately. Versus if you touch in that rotation, she's like, ooh, I'm just like a little hedgehog going in and out. Same thing here. I'm just, again, I'm not looking to lift her leg up. Sorry, that was. But here now, see, I would start having the rotation. I can't bring her leg out. Now I can say to her, it's difficult for her to getting out of the driver's side. Because if she can't do this to get out of a car, she now has to bring both knees around to get out. Because she just lost.
Which I do.
But again, that's where people think I'm psychic, but it's, no, your movements are telling me your vocabulary. And now I wouldn't say, you know, now it could be too habitual. Maybe her husband always drives her, so she's just not used to getting out of that side. Again, just going around with the rotation. Now, some people prefer to go hip, knee, you know, but I do. Now, this knee is already a bit more available than this knee. See the difference? How the femur is not responding versus here. She has more.
It's rotating all the way up.
Right. So with that, I'm not too surprised, but she's still, now she's catching because of the hip.
Yeah, my hip. That's right.
She doesn't want the pain to happen, but I can still, she's more available here.
That's what I don't get. If this one's healthier, then why does this one, it's...
Yeah, but if you overcompensated all these years,
that's what I did, yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, now it's just like, done.
Now this, you can, her type A came out because she gave me her hand before I even picked it up. And that sometimes too, I'll be like, were you a firstborn, or did you take care of everybody? And they'll be like, because see, I can see how long it took to... That's okay. But really, I'm not asking her to do anything that would be exerting her system, you know, or going into...
No, if I wasn't paying attention, I wouldn't have noticed anything.
Right. But you're comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I didn't violate. And now from all of that, I can go around and just see if this got, you know, already her head is, just from being touched like that, her head response is that much more.
Yeah, it was almost like a body check, but like a rotation check.
Right. That's all it is. But let's say as a nurse, I've got an IV going in now. Now I've checked her in. Let's say if I put her into her bed, she just came out of post-op, right? And again, she's an adult, same with the baby. But so I've got an IV, let's say on the right side. But I've now made a rotation check. What if the IV started leaking? You know, you can catch the edema way earlier in that wrist that
Looking
because
at
the
the
rotation
movement.
started to decline. What if she had a TIA after surgery? You know, again, you would already know. You can say, oh, I've already checked off her rotation. She was at a, 13 out of 15, no problem, because of the hips or the one knee or so. But now all of a sudden I'm not getting any response. I actually have, she might be here this weekend, but there was no pulse in the arm. I was failing, was going into organ failure.
Oh my
So she
goodness.
worked on the whatever, and they got a pulse in the arm.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's like, I didn't tell anybody, but she's
I'm
sort of
stuck.
like,
The
Yeah.
thing is stuck.
Yeah.
but again, she might have saved the guy's life just from giving him quick movement lesson on
Yeah.
the wrist. So again, I've never met her before in my life, and I can be totally looking at you, examining her.
You can
It's
feel it.
not that.
Yeah.
Now, I can already feel that I'd say she probably has a bit of bowel issues, more so constipation possibly, or, just because, do you see how it's difficult for me to go to your head here, to the left? Do you feel that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, why would that make it bowel issues?
Well, because if she's too thick through there, you know what I mean, that she's just,
For her head? Or you're looking further
the
down?
counter, to where the head's
counter.
going to go. So see again, too, see how it's hard for... Now, again, too, she said that she had issues with right and left. It
Yeah.
could also be that she didn't really crawl, because the head's just not... Now, I get it again. See how I can take you,
can
and
move
make her head
right,
move.
Right. Oh, I understand.
So that's where a neurotypical would say, oh, I can
yeah.
move my head.
Right, right.
But again, I'm teaching you how to touch a baby. And a baby, honestly, again, because there's no judgment or there shouldn't be anything wrong with the baby, you should be able to just go boop, boop, boop,
Yeah.
boop, boop,
Yeah.
and they just respond to your touch. Again, this is Newton's law now. For every action, there should be an equal opposite reaction.
Yeah.
Now, you guys have had life. The way you calcified, she could have had an arm break on the left arm, and that'll affect her head movement because of the sling and this, and especially if it was a full-on breakthrough, both. So you have to be open to.
So when you do that, you're really more feeling than looking.
Right.
Okay.
If I look, I'm just going to say her outfit's like nuts.
I get you. Okay.
And that's why, too, when I first learned, I did most of, see again, you can see where her neck,
Uh-huh.
do you feel that?
Mm-hmm.
See, now my brain just wants to work on her, which
Oh,
I
yeah.
will over the week, but
Yeah.
the weekend, but,
Now you're assessing.
right.
Yeah.
And now even to go to lift her, I wouldn't even think about it, but just to show you, just bringing her in that lift, do you see, that's a heavy head.
Yeah.
No, but this is the heaviness you don't want to feel in a baby.
Yeah.
So for her to get up off the bed, look
Yeah.
at that. See,
Yeah.
she's not even going to this side. She's going to this side more. Do you see how
I
naturally?
can see
But
that.
this side to
Yeah.
get up out of the bed, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
where
Yeah.
the opposite for you.
Yeah.
She would more likely want to come here.
Yeah.
Now, just from that little bit,
She's
the head's a
better.
little bit lighter, but still, but see, to bring the nose down to crossing midline, she's fighting. She, this is
But
a lot
how do
easier.
you know the digestive thing? That's what I don't get.
Well,
Like,
again, I
why?
could be wrong. Was I
Yeah.
wrong?
You know, I have another, I go to massage and acupuncture and I always get feedback about bowel.
Right.
But I feel like it's not really a big
Right.
issue.
But a couple of people have said that then.
Mhm.
Okay.
And it could be if you didn't have your abnormally wonderful diet,
Yeah.
you would have bowel
But maybe
issues.
that's what, oh yeah.
You know,
see,
I mean, I think that happens.
feel
Yeah.
left arm versus the right.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So this is,
Can I check that?
yeah.
I mean, I know I'll get to eventually.
No.
I just want to see if I
As long
can
as
feel
AJ's
it.
okay with it. But are you okay
Oh,
with
yeah.
it?
Oh, yeah.
I just want to see how light I can do things.
I looked at it, sorry, it's a low chair. I looked at it as a competition.
Yeah.
Because I was told, oh, you can't touch that light. And I'm like,
You want to bet?
you want to hear
Yeah.
can't? Then my brain starts going.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Yeah.
No, do the shoulders. Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah. It's good.
Another indicator when you feel you have to counterbalance more to get a reaction. So the more you're moving is also,
I find a harder time with the shoulders.
yeah.
I mean, with her shoulders.
Yeah, you are. That's what I'm saying. Especially the left. Do you see how, just to bring it up through here and to rotate? Do you see that?
Oh, yeah.
See
I
how
had
much
to go further than I was.
Right. See
I
what
had
I
to go
mean?
further than I was.
Right.
I would say this one's a little harder.
Yeah, the left one. That's what I said. The left one. She's opposite for you.
No, that's the way I do it. Isn't it? I get up that way?
Right, but
Oh, maybe you're right. I don't know. Whatever. It's not, yeah.
it's not symmetrical.
It's not symmetrical. I can say that much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll learn more.
But what your touch should be doing, instead of saying, "Oh my gosh, what did AJ
No.
do to her shoulder?"
No.
Your touch should be going,
Yeah.
I really would like to help remove this more. I would
I like when
really,
she
and that's
does
with the
this.
same thing with the babies.
Yeah. I like it when you do this.
Yeah.
Use the hair to.
Yeah.
It's such a cool feeling, isn't it?
But I'll teach you if you want this weekend how to
Yeah.
rotate through the hair.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
So I'll just again go around her briefly, coming on the knee, elbow, the hand. Now I want to show you that as well. So if I just were to grab her, feel the difference versus if I came here. Coming underneath the hip.
So you kind of go from central, or what do you call it, proximal to distal, huh?
Yeah.
You would start at.
Again, she does not want to give me this leg. So again, getting out of the car. So again, you can see
Yeah.
where she... But I'm feeling that it's more here I would want to work
Yeah.
to alleviate these responses.
Yeah.
So again, I might have said constipation or whatever, but for some reason, that's where I'm getting...
As opposed,
where-
mine's lower.
She could have been
Mine's
hit
really
by a
hit.
volleyball when she was 3. I don't know, but I'm just... But more typically, it would be a digestion issue. Like I lost my sigmoid colon, so now this
It
leg
is
is
higher
very...
up. You're right about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just...
Yeah, it's interesting.
Again, but it's not looking to fault. I'm looking to help, you know?
Of course.
No, I'm just... But if you're touching in a way that you want to fix someone, already you're touching them too aggressively.
Too much intention.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that you can't enhance somebody. And it's like, here, let me show you, you know. It's just offering them a learning opportunity. Where some people, it's like, I'm fine, leave me alone. And I'm like, that's fine.
Right. Or you have to find
But
an
when
opening.
you're on my table, man, you're mine. So you're ready, just here. So
Yeah, you can see her move. Yeah.
can you feel the difference? Just that. So ready. Now again, I wouldn't go. See how this is a force. I'm not looking to. Now I know again you can do it, but I'm just looking again for that little bit of a rock or rotation. And I'm not looking to evaluate. Like I could just say, like, see how much heavier this leg is versus this,
And
things
why?
like that.
And why?
Yeah.
Because you already know enough.
Right. Again, I'm doing all this to give more just typical people to give a good assessment. Now again, if every person came in, as this is just your yearly physical, but at least you can note, say, wow, for the last 5 years my shoulder was fine, and now all of a sudden you're finding, I wonder what's going on here. Oh, maybe we can look into it. Maybe you are pre-arthritic, maybe you are going into a degenerative or whatever, but at least you have a baseline.
Yeah.
I would try to work with an anesthesiologist, and I said, if all you just sat there with the client and just sat there like this and go, you know, hi AJ, okay, we're going to have this done today, and why do you feel, which side is it at, and, okay, your pulse is at, and they just rotated, you'd have clients lining up for you just based off of this, and you would have a good assessment of where they are before you put them. You know, you're getting skin tonus, you're getting neural responses, they're calming down, they're going into surgery so much better.
Yeah.
And there's different ways of just doing rotation, but they're all fine. I can do it that way, I can do it this way. You know, this is, she fights me a little bit here. But again, I don't normally take you away from home. You will not see me do this on anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is just feels foreign. This is just, especially with babies. Babies all from the womb and up. It's either a suck, feed, all in this direction. Again,
so you would always come in here though, then out here. Well, because then you'd have to cross your arms.
right. I want the person to be as non-responsive as possible. So if I come in and I counter the rotation out like this, this is fine. I can get a clue, but she might go, where are you going with my arm? Versus if I was here.
I see.
And I'm more going into, again, bringing her
home
to her comfort. But from all of that, again, just see already how much nicer now the head goes to the left. But see, now I can go down on each vertebrae. So I go back and I'm like, see, look at how much nice you did it from here. But around C2, C3, see, that's where she catches again. So I'll just keep going back and forth. I go, look how nice this was. And then I go back and, okay, her brain's starting to learn. So then I know it's a physical issue and not a neurotypical issue. If I kept saying, come on, and I wasn't getting any feedback, I know to look more that it's a neurological issue that she's got, you know, like if a child has a stroke.
Sure.
As an example. But if I can eventually say, then I know it's more of a torticollis, let's say.
Yeah.
And it's just...
And this would be kind of sort of the things you would do with the torticollis baby.
Oh, yeah.
Is this kind of...
Because one of the things torticollis baby's not doing is, this is another thing I'll start teaching you, but I'll show you here since we talked about it.
Yeah.
Most adults think that rotation comes from the back of the neck. I'm turning my head so my nose flags. Now when they have issues, lots of times the nose again won't cross midline. So I'll kind of get this kind of thing going. But see how the nose still wants to go towards the ceiling. So the back of the head will start. But rotation should happen from the back of the head. It should happen from the middle of the head.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So if the rotation only is happening here, the stimuli is through the back of the neck, right? It's like a windshield wiper.
I can feel it.
Yeah,
I can feel it.
It's like a windshield wiper, like I was doing with the feet.
And
now,
then,
if the rotation is more through the spine itself, where the head sits and presents, then yes, she should be able, the whole head. See how the skull counters the nose?
Yeah. Yeah.
See here, my skull stays here and my nose wags back and forth.
Yeah.
Right? But then also my nose should be able to stay present, and now I just get my skull coming back. That's a different type of rotation.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's just from this side of the view. Same thing here. I should be able to pick her head up. Now see how much nicer she looks down and goes up.
Yeah.
Right? But also her nose, now I won't be able to do it in this position. You should see it, you can see it really well with a chicken. But their nose stays, you know what I mean?
Pecking,
and their butt,
the pecking.
no, but their butt goes around the head.
It does, doesn't it?
But also my head should be able to go around my butt.
Yeah.
There should be able to dual, but those kind of things. And that's where I believe that the pelvis is actually more like a gyroscope. And then there's subgyros behind the back of the head, the wrist and the feet as far as the movement. But, so eventually, yes, see how she can just come around. And again, now she's just responding to my stimuli. She knows I'm not going to hurt her. She knows I'm not going to put her into any kind of harm's way. Same with the baby.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now I can bring into visual stimuli and go, oh, look at the camera. I'm like, oh, look at the pretty picture kind of thing, or the beads. That's where I am with the babies, just so they feel this neutral response to stimuli.
Yeah.
And as long as she's just in my arm, counter-rolling in a sense, I know everything's going well. But now if I ask her to, so now contract your pinky, doesn't matter which hand, just make it nice and tight. So see, ready now? Now the head moves more from C7. See how it's hard to rotate or lift? Now let the pinky go. Right? See the difference? See now how the whole head rolls around itself.
Yeah.
Can you feel the difference between just that?
Yeah, and my eyes too were really focused. And my eyes didn't want to move.
Right.
When my can try.
So now, like babies, bring the toes up. See how hard upper quadrant vision is when the toes are up?
Or is it that she's concentrating and holding her eyes still as she concentrates?
That's what a baby's doing.
Yeah,
It doesn't
see, I think
matter
it's
how
something
to
like
let
that.
the toes go.
Yeah. I mean, if you
the
could learn to
difference?
hold your toes up and let your eyes go.
But you can't do that with the baby.
No,
you can
can't
do that as
you
an
can do that as an adult. You can
ATM.
learn to do that, but I get you. But the baby's never going to do that. I
Correct.
gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
So you counter, that's counterbalance in any way, shape, or form in the body.
Yeah.
That to me that's more of a visual. So if I see a baby that has a habitual response to movement, Houston, we have a problem. That's
Yeah.
just a given.
Yeah.
Not to find fault with the baby, but that's where I'm like, I can be like, hi mom, you know, I can be literally in the mall going, oh, what a cute baby, but you just will not see my hands not doing the lesson.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, see again how much better she's breathing and all of this, and she's just, so just quickie, but I can go into it more. So the head rotation through the hair follicles. Now this is very good if the child's had C-section, because they don't get that force through.
Yeah.
Especially too, what you can do with that now, see I can counter it as well.
Yeah.
And get into all these. Now see right there, she's just, and again, that's why you go so slow, so you can just catch these little glitches. And
Yeah.
But everything I do when I touch someone always has a function. So, like here, I can even just think of her coming over to look at you. Even though I'm not asking her to do it, her eyes are closed, I get that.
Right.
But my intent is always for walking. It's always for crawling. Not like,
Or reaching
this kid's
or
not
something.
gonna, you know.
Right.
I think it affects my position.
That's really interesting. Yeah.
So, my children taught me, like I saw her, like her playing with the beads.
Yeah.
Look at how long she played with those dumb
my God,
beads, you know what I
forever.
mean? So I was like, woohoo, I mean, this is great. What a great versus
That's
and
great.
holding their breath. And she's like rolling around and playing and rolling around, and she played more and rolled around and all of that. And she's learning, wow, I can play with something in all positions. Versus, I can only sit here and do this. And that's where babies get bad, because then it's like, oh, did you want this? And then the moms start doing the language for you. Oh, let me get this for them.
Or the other children sometimes.
Yeah. But you can see, just hopefully with you, AJ, because you've never been touched by me, how gentle and what kind of response. But I'm telling you, if I was doing this,
you wouldn't have anything.
Up.
Not only that, but I call that ADD hands.
Right.
I think she said to do over. No.
It's communicating something different.
Right. But even with me not saying that, that's what the hands are saying. So even if I do mess up, I don't usually say I'm sorry. If I accidentally touch breast tissue or whatever, it's not purposeful, but if I bump into it, I might say then I'm sorry. Or I usually always tell people that if I touch you in any way that's uncomfortable or you don't, and the same thing, the babies, they're instant. I know when I've gone, even if they're just getting hungry. And the parents will say, I just fed them. Well, look at what they're doing on my table. If they're hungry, feed them. Doesn't have to be an 8-ounce bottle. Top them off, and then they can go back to play. But I don't try and violate someone with my presence, not just my touch.
Yeah.
So how's that feel?
Yeah, that feels great.